Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the business meetings for the City of Prattville. We have one public hearing tonight, and after that, we will move into our regular council agenda. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll for the public hearing, please?
Councillor Sanders. Here. Councillor Jackson. Here. Councillor Chambers. Here. Councillor Merrick. Here. Councillor Whaley. Here. Councillor Stritchett. Here. Councillor Boone. Here.
Having a quorum present, I do call our public hearing to order. Item number 1 is an ordinance to pre-zone property outside the corporate limits located at 1301 and 1315 Upper Kingston Road to INST Institutional. Anyone present this evening who would like to speak in favor of this public hearing? Yes, sir. Mr. Newman, please come forward, state your name and address for the council, and address us.
I just wanted to take a second to talk about the resolution real quick before you guys voted on it. Sorry, Wade Newman, 960 Fireside Drive. Again, I just want to take a second to talk about the resolution before you voted on it. This has been kind of something I've been involved with a little bit because of realizing the disconnect at the 911 committee meeting that I was in on the 911 board for the county. And Kyle Glover and I started speaking about the fact that there was being outside the city limits, it put the high school at a little bit of a disadvantage to some of the other schools in the city limits. There were some memorandums of understanding that had to be done and some bureaucracy that needed to be done with the ambulance services, medical services and response and that type of thing. So we talked quickly about that, about bringing it into the city limits. He is on the school board as well, so we kind of had an opportunity to kind of talk about that quickly. Thought it would be a good idea if it was done. All the other schools in the county that are service Prattville are in the city limits. This is the only one that's not. It's been like that since I graduated from there in 1983. I think, due to the land being donated or whatever, at the time they brought it in, it was a county school system, so it wasn't in the city limits. I spoke quickly with a few of the city officials, Scott Stevens, the mayor, talked to some of the county officials, and went to the school board and talked to them about it. They agreed. They put a resolution forward. It came to the planning committee meetings. I've spoken at those as well, so I want to take the opportunity to let you guys know. I think it's a great idea. I think it'll streamline processes. I think it'll align it with the other schools in the city, and I think it's something that will overall be a good thing. For the zoning in the city, I think it'll, I couldn't think of being an alumni, obviously, it's kind of, nice to see the city bring it in. The original county high school was in the city limits. All the other schools it wasn't done with any malice or anything, and I think now would make it easier. The MPO, some of the MPO dollars may be leveraged now. If it's in the city limits, the city can spend that money to maybe at some point run sidewalks along the front of that building and maybe some other places too. So I think overall it'd be a great thing, and I'd like to see you guys pass it. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Newman. Is there anyone else present this evening who would like to speak in favor of ordinance number 1? Is there anyone present this evening who would like to speak against ordinance number 1? Hearing none, I call this public hearing closed. At this time, we are inviting you to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and our invocation. The invocation will be given by Councillor Chambers this evening.
Will you please bow in prayer with me, please? Father, your word says that where 2 or 3 are gathered in your name, you are in the midst. Thank you for being with us today at this meeting. Let this place be full of your glory. Thank you for the gift of life and the opportunity to serve the people of our great city. Give us a spirit of service and remind us that we are stewards of your authority. Guide us to be the leaders that your people need and help us to act with character and conviction. Help us to listen with understanding and goodwill. Help us to speak with charity and restraint. Even though we may come from different backgrounds, help us to come or find some common ground through which we can agree and come up with lasting solutions. So help us see the humanity and dignity of those who we disagree with, and to treat all persons with the reverence your creation deserves. So help us be quick to listen, slow to anger, and when others share their ideas. And finally, Father, renew us with the strength of your presence and the joy of helping to build a community worthy of the human person. So we ask this in your sons and daughters, confident as your goodness and love. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Madam Clerk, will you call the roll, please?
Counselor Sanders. Counselor Jackson. Counselor Chambers. Counselor Merrick. Counselor Whaley. Counselor Stritchett. Counselor Boone.
Having a quorum present, I call our meeting to order. The character trait of this month is sensitivity, using my senses to perceive the true attitudes and emotions of others. At this time, we have an opportunity to approve our minutes from the City Council meeting on January the 28th, 2025. At this time, I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes. We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor of approving the minutes, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed by a like sign. And the minutes are approved. At this time, we will welcome any comments from persons present regarding tonight's agenda items only. Anything we are voting on tonight, we would welcome you to come and speak about. If you are going to speak, we ask that you line up against this wall and that you would sign up your name and address on the podium, and you will have up to 3 minutes to address the council. Is there anyone wishing to speak? Hearing none, Mr. Mayor, please come forward with your report.
Yes, ma'am. If I might have a point of privilege? Yes, sir. If I can ask Ms. Chloe Harris to come forward. Ms. Chloe, she's a junior at Prattville High School. She'll be representing our county at the Miss Alabama Teen Pageant, Birmingham, from March 7th through the 9th. And see, you've been awarded some other accolades as well.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to come and speak to you all this evening. The Miss America program is not just a day-long event, but it is something that runs year-round. It is something that allows others to voice their opinions and compete in 4 aspects of a competition: talent, fitness, interview, and onstage question and evening gown. Throughout this, I have been able to use community service with my CSI Community Service Initiative, Horses, Hope, and Healing, the benefits of equine therapy, and how it can not only help with mental and physical disorders, but how the person can also bond with the horse and be able to use that as a form of therapy without having to use a therapist or a counselor. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you. I tell you what, my wife really believes in the therapy with equine because she is a true believer in the love that animals really can bring back to their owners and others around her. So again, thank you and good luck, and we'll be watching for you and hoping the best for you. And Madam President, if I might continue the point of privilege, we actually have a new employee among us, our assistant city clerk soon to be, Miss Lexi Dunklin would come up. Just like to say hello and welcome, and I've already apologized in advance in case there's any reason for that. But anyway, glad that she's here, and look forward to working with you for many years to come.
Yes, thankful for the opportunity, and I look forward to working for my city. If y'all need anything, let me know.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, thank you, Madam President. But good evening, councilors. I hope everyone had a wonderful Mardi Gras celebration on Saturday, as much as I did, walking in the parade with y'all and seeing everyone out there. It was a great day. The weather was perfect. There was a huge crowd that turned out to enjoy all the festivities. I appreciate cultural arts and special events, our public safety, our police department was out there among us as well, our fire department. Tell you, we just had a great turnout and great staff there. So, but they're all working so hard to make this another great quality of life opportunity in our community. Councilors, agenda item number 7 is to authorize for us to seek out the general obligation warrants at approximately $15 million. I've talked about this before. This annual debt service is to be funded on a prorated basis with the Parks and Recs 1 cent, public facilities 1 cent, and infrastructure 1 cent funds. There's a list in the agenda on what some of the projects are. stood up here many times before and talked about good debt and bad debt. And when you have so many of these projects that are going to be benefiting our community in so many different ways, because one of the projects as well is our public safety training center out in the Western Industrial Park. When you have a need, you have the resources dedicated for that. Definitely, it's almost like in our personal lives, if we have to buy a house or buy a car, we know we've got a budget for it, and we have the resources here. So again, that is definitely a good debt, in my opinion. I also like to let everyone know that the City of Prattville was awarded three, and I think I might have some, here we go, 3 A-Trip 2 projects. I want to thank the governor and our staff as well, Engineer Paxton Reese, for everything they've done to work and get all this done. Pictures up there, let's see, screen, 2 turning and 2 through lanes at US 82 and Cobbs Ford Road, and then turning lanes at US 82 and Legends Drive, and turning lane and updated traffic signals at US 31 onto US 82. The middle one, which is, let's see, the 2 turning and 2 through lanes on US 82 and Cobbs Ford, that one, I'm sorry, the Legends Drive, that goes into our shopping center areas there. I've been up there on occasions where the roundabout that's over on the clock tower side, I have seen traffic backed up all through the roundabout. So this should expedite a lot of that traffic. And I think I've said it before, if you have happy drivers, you usually have happy shoppers. So we want to keep all of our drivers happy and safe as well. But I guess it's going to be another one of those, I'll stand up here and say I got good news and I got bad news. Good news is we got paving coming for these projects. And the bad news is we have these projects coming as well, because will be disrupting our patterns for a short while, but benefits will be paying dividends for years to come. Councilors, in honor of our Black History Month, I hope everyone will make plans to attend the City of Prattville's 24th Annual Black History Program on February 28th at 6 p.m. at Doster Center Community Center. This year's guest speaker is Dr. Brittany Anderson, along with a full night of entertainment. So hopefully everyone can come out to that as well. Councilors, I do agree with Mr. Wade Newman that the annexation of the high school is a very positive thing. I know it's been talked about for many, many decades, and there's always been some resistance at various components or areas of the community, and I'm glad that no one is here to oppose us tonight. So, but Madam President, that's the end of my report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Do any councilors have any questions or comments for the mayor?
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. This time, we will move into our reports from the council on special committees. Councilor Sanders, do you have a report? No, ma'am. Councilor Jackson? No. Councilor Chambers?
No, ma'am.
Councilor Merrick?
No, ma'am.
Councilor Whaley?
None.
Councilor Strichick? No, ma'am. And I have none. At this time, we have the opportunity to create a consent agenda. Items that are possible for our consent agenda include Resolution Number 1, to authorize the city attorney to affix the cost for the removal of garbage and rubbish at 326 Marlette Drive. Resolution Number 2, to declare the garbage and rubbish at 145 Chester Street a public nuisance and authorize the mayor to abate and charge any incurred expenses pursuant to Chapter 46, City of Prattville Code of Ordinances. Resolution Number 3, to declare the garbage and rubbish at 199 Denise Drive a public nuisance and authorize the mayor to abate and charge any incurred expenses pursuant to Chapter 46, City of Prattville Code of Ordinances. And Resolution Number 4, to declare the garbage and rubbish at 610 Vendale Road a public nuisance and authorize the mayor to abate and charge any incurred expenses pursuant to Chapter 46, City of Prattville Code of Ordinances. Do I hear a motion to create such a consent agenda?
So moved.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor of creating this consent agenda, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed by a like sign. And the consent agenda is now properly before us. Do I hear a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
So moved.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second. Is there any discussion on adopting the consent agenda? Hearing none, all in favor of adopting the consent agenda, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed by a like sign. and the consent agenda is adopted. Now we will move into our regular agenda. Ordinance number 1 is to pre-zone property outside the corporate limits located at 1301 and 1315 Upper Kingston Road to institutional. Item number 1 was already read in on January the 7th, so it is properly before us. Do we have any discussion regarding ordinance number 1? Hearing none, all in favor of ordinance number 1, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed by a like sign. Ordinance number 1 is adopted. Ordinance number 2 is a petition for annexation of 1301 and 1315 Upper Kingston Road, Prattville, Alabama. Item number 2 was also read in on January the 7th and is properly before us. Is there any discussion regarding ordinance number 2? Hearing none, all in favor of ordinance number 2, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed by a like sign. And ordinance number 2 is also adopted. Resolution number 3 is to amend the fiscal year 2025 budget and to authorize the release of funds for the purchase of one 2025 Peterbilt Knuckle Boom Pac-Mac limb loader truck from Ingram Equipment Company, LLC, for the Sanitation Department at a cost not to exceed $223,967. Counselor Chambers, will you read in this resolution for us, please?
Yes, ma'am. Whereas the Sanitation Department has need to purchase one 2025 Peterbilt 537 Knuckle Boom Pac-Mac limb loader truck, and whereas said truck is available through the NPP GOV Purchasing Cooperative, contract number PS 24140 from Ingram Equipment Company, LLC, at a cost not to exceed $223,967. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Prattville that the fiscal year 2025 budget is hereby amended as follows. Decrease Sanitation Enterprise Fund Departmental Reserve by $223,967 and increase the Sanitation Enterprise Fund Capital Outlay $223,967. Be it further resolved that funds in an amount not to exceed $223,967 for the purchase of said truck is hereby authorized and approved to be paid to Ingram Equipment Company, LLC, and said funds are approved and appropriated from fiscal year 2025 budget line item Sanitation Enterprise Fund / Capital Outlay. So moved, Madam President.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Second. We have a second. Is there any discussion on resolution number 3? Hearing none, all in favor of resolution number 3, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed by a like sign. And resolution number 3 is adopted. Resolution number 4 is to authorize the release of funds for the July 4th Public Fireworks Display Program for Performing and Creative Arts at a cost not to exceed $29,999.99. Counselor Strichick, will you introduce this resolution for us, please?
Yes, ma'am. Whereas the City of Prattville sponsors the 4th of July Public Fireworks Display Program on an annual basis, and whereas Pyro Production of Alabama Incorporated has the necessary expertise to perform said program at a cost not to exceed $29,999.99. And whereas this is a budgeted expense in performing and creative arts. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Prattville that the funds in amount not to exceed $29,999.99 for said program are hereby authorized and approved to be paid to Pyro Production of Alabama Incorporated, and said funds are approved and appropriated from fiscal 2025 budget line item Performing and Creative Arts Independent Day Parade Fireworks. So moved, Madam President.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Is there any discussion on resolution number 4? Hearing none, all in favor of resolution number 4, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed by a like sign. Resolution number 4 is adopted. Resolution number 5 is to authorize city staff to make application for roadway improvements along Northington Road under the Rebuild Alabama Act annual grant to the Alabama Department of Transportation. Counselor Jackson, will you read this in for us, please?
Whereas the City of Prattville has identified a need for roadway improvements along Northington Road, and whereas the city desires to make applications for funding assistance for said improvements under the RAA Annual Grant Fund, now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Prattville that the city staff is hereby authorized to submit the fiscal year 2025 RAA annual grant application to AlDOT for roadway improvements along Northington Road. Be it further resolved that the city of Prattville commits to matching funds for said project should the grant be awarded by AlDOT and implemented. Be it further resolved that the mayor is hereby authorized to execute any and all documents necessary to carry out the intent of this resolution. So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? We have a second. Is there any discussion on resolution number 5? Hearing none, all in favor of resolution number 5, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed by a like sign. And resolution number 5 is adopted. Resolution number 6 is to authorize the release of funds for the purchase and installation of flooring for the Way Off Broadway Theater at 203 West 4th Street for performing and creative arts at a cost not to exceed $17,582.25. Counselor Strichick, will you read in this resolution for us, please?
Sure. Whereas Performing and Creative Arts has a desire to replace the flooring for the Way Off Broadway Theater at 203 West 4th Street, and whereas said flooring and installation is available from Prattville Carpet Incorporated at a total cost not to exceed $17,582.25, and whereas this is a budgeted expense in Performing and Creative Arts, now therefore be resolved by the City Council of the City of Prattville that funds in the amount not to exceed $17,582.25 are hereby authorized and approved to be paid to Prattville Carpet Incorporated for said flooring and installation, and said funds are hereby approved and appropriated for 2025 budget line item Performing and Creative Arts capital outlay. So moved, Madam President.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Is there any discussion regarding resolution number 6? Hearing none, all in favor of resolution number 6, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed by a like sign. And resolution number 6 is adopted. Resolution number 7 is to authorize certain actions with respect to general obligation warrant, Series 2025 of the City of Prattville. Counselor Chambers, will you introduce this resolution by title only, please?
Yes, ma'am. To authorize certain actions with respect to general obligation warrants, Series 2025 of the City of Prattville. So moved, Madam President.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Is there any discussion regarding resolution number 7? Hearing none, all in favor of resolution number 7, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed by a like sign? Resolution number 7 is adopted. Resolution number 8 is to authorize the release of funds for the purchase of one 2025 Toro 60-degree mower from Live Oaks Outdoors LLC, doing business as Prattville Outdoors for Parks and Recreation at a cost not to exceed $15,246.62. Counselor Strichick, will you introduce this resolution for us, please?
Okay. Whereas Parks and Recreation has identified a need to purchase one Toro 60-inch multi-force mower with high-flow hydraulics, and whereas said the motor is available from Live Oaks Outdoors LLC, doing business at Prattville Outdoors at a cost not to exceed $15,246.62. Whereas this is a budgeted expense in Parks and Recreation. Now therefore be resolved by the City Council of the City of Prattville that funds in an amount not to exceed $15,246.62 for the purchase of said mower hereby authorized and approved to be paid to Live Oaks Outdoors LLC, doing business as Prattville Outdoors, and said funds are approved and appropriated from fiscal 2025 budget line item Parks and Recreation capital outlay. So moved, Madam President.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? We have a second. Is there any discussion regarding resolution number 8? Hearing none, all in favor of resolution number 8, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed by a like sign. Resolution number 8 is adopted. Resolution number 9 is to authorize the mayor to enter into a preliminary engineering agreement with Kinder Morgan Operating LLC-D and Products SE Pipeline Corporation for the gas pipeline relocation in the South Industrial Park at a cost not to exceed $250,000. Counselor Jackson, will you introduce the resolution for us, please?
Whereas a need has been identified for preliminary engineering services for the gas pipeline relocation in South Industrial Park, and whereas Kinder Morgan Operating as LLC-D and Products SE Pipeline Corporation has the expertise to provide said services at a cost not to exceed $250,000, whereas Section 39.2.2D1 Code of Alabama 1975 as amended allows contracts to secure services with project management services possessing a high degree of professional skills to be let without bidding, and whereas this is a budget expense under community initiatives, now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Prattville that the mayor is hereby authorized to enter into said agreement with Kendall Morgan Operating LLC and Products SE Pipeline Corporation for said preliminary engineering services at a cost not to exceed $250,000, and funds are approved and appropriated from fiscal year 2025 budget line item, community initiatives, sporting events, and economic development. Be it further resolved that the mayor is hereby authorized to execute any and all documents necessary to carry out the intent of this resolution. So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Is there any discussion on resolution number 9? Hearing none, all in favor of resolution number 9, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed by a like sign. And resolution number 9 is adopted. Resolution number 10 is to authorize the release of funds for the purchase of one 2025 Grandstand 60-inch mower from Live Oaks Outdoors LLC, doing business as Prattville Outdoors for Parks and Recreation, at a cost not to exceed $10,706.18. Counselor Strichek, will you introduce the resolution for us, please?
Yes, whereas Parks and Recreation has identified a need to purchase one Grandstand 60-inch Turbo Force mower, whereas said mower is available from Live Oaks Outdoors LLC, doing business as Prattville Outdoors, at a cost not to exceed $10,706.18. Whereas this is a budgeted expense in Parks and Recreation. Now therefore be resolved by the City Council of the City of Prattville that funds in an amount not to exceed $10,706.80 for the purchase of said mower are hereby authorized and approved to be paid to Live Oaks Outdoors LLC, doing business as Prattville Outdoors, and the said funds are approved and appropriated from fiscal 2025 budget line item Parks and Recreation capital outlay. So moved, Madam President.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second. Is there any discussion on resolution number 10? Hearing none, all in favor of resolution number 10, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed by a like sign. And resolution number 10 is adopted. This concludes the items that we have on our agenda for tonight. At this portion, the council will welcome comments from persons present. If there is anyone wishing to speak tonight, we ask that you do line up over here by the podium and that you sign your name and address on the podium and come forward and speak. Yes, ma'am. You will have 3 minutes to address the council. Yes, ma'am, Ms. Nix.
Good evening. Jackie Nix, 706 Running Brook Circle. I just want to speak to you a little bit about the financial report for the library. Going forward, we haven't heard anything. You know, I know the situation is totally different because of the situation with the main branch, but we haven't been hearing anything about how the money has, the lack of transparency, and right now, prices of everything is going up. The only way that we can assure that they will be using our money, our tax dollars, properly is to look at how they used them in the last fiscal year. And I encourage you to audit the financial report from the library separately if possible. If that is not feasible, at least scrutinize it. See where the money went, how it's being used, so that we can look to see how it's going to possibly be used going forward, because there is a total lack of transparency, not only with we the public, but I imagine with you yourselves. So that's all I came to say, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Nix. Yes, ma'am, Mrs. Robinson.
Barbara Robinson. Barbara Robinson, 123 White Oak Court, Prattville, Alabama. I want to say good evening to everyone. I know, y'all ain't got to take no deep breath from being nice tonight. But I did want to make a statement or comment or whatever. First of all, thank you all. I appreciate the continuing work in North Highland Park. But my concern is because April is fast approaching. We will be having the Easter egg hunt. And I made a petition about the bathrooms some months ago. And I don't know if it was ever discussed of how the provision will be made when we have all those people up in the park, for us having one stall in each bathroom. That dog ain't gonna hunt. So y'all, I don't know what it would cost for you to do porta potties or whatever to make it convenient, because that's an inconvenient. Just think about it. Just say this would we did, unless you can make room, have a bus, shuttle bus, we use your house for the bathroom. And the next part is I am looking forward for each and every one of you all to be at North Highland February the 15th at 5 o'clock. You have the colors of red, black, or gold. You could choose any color. Just come on. And I'm gonna have, I don't know, I might not have no chillings and hog mugs, but you'll have something to eat. So I'm looking forward for everyone. So, but if y'all can give me something, or y'all need to go back into discussion, so by time the next meeting, and y'all have me an answer for is the park, because we got to have this together. We got to have it together. Yes, sir.
I had a question. Thank you, Ms. Robinson. Did you say either wear red, black, or gold, or you can
You
do
can
a
mix it up.
You can mix it up?
Yes, yes.
Okay. And the Easter egg hunt?
Yes.
What day will you have it and what time? Okay, I know it's normally Easter,
Oh,
but
Lord, I ain't got no
some may
plan
have
with
it, some may have it like the Saturday before.
But it's going to be Saturday. I know it's going to be on a Saturday, and it will be before the Easter weekend.
Okay.
We try to do that and have it out the way because so many kids have to go get haircuts, or kids go get perms and all this stuff. So we try to get our part out the way so it won't be inconvenient for the parents, as well.
Well, I'd like to be there once we get a date, so.
Okay, I'll make sure I get it to you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, and I appreciate the concern. I know you're going to be there. You can wear your dancing shoes because you and I can do the first dance at my party. Huh? Easter bunny suit. Oh, I love it. Okay. Okay. All right. Oh, okay. Okay. I'm gonna make sure I'll have you all set up. Bring your guests, bring your date, whatever, wife, cheer, whatever. Just bring them. I know she's gonna be there.
Thank you, Mrs. Robinson. Any other counselors have questions or comments for Mrs. Robinson? Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
We will move now into our closing comments. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Just want to say good luck again, Ms. Harris, as you move forward there, and please keep us informed. And good luck as well, Ms. Duncan, as you move forward with the community, with being a member of our work family here. Thank you.
Counselor Sanders? Counselor Jackson?
Yes, ma'am. Best wishes to Chloe, and I also want to acknowledge her grandfather that's here tonight, Mr. Brown. Glad to see you, Mr. Brown. I know you've been under the weather, but as always, I know you're going to be out here to support your babies. So it's great to see you, and I know you're proud of that granddaughter, and we're proud of her as well, and I'm sure she's going to do a good job representing our community when she goes off next month.
Counselor Chambers?
Yes, also, I'd like to offer my congrats to Chloe and best of luck moving forward. And also welcome Alexi. Look forward to working with you, and if there's anything I can do, just let me know.
Counselor Merrick?
Yes, ma'am. And welcome aboard, and glad you're with us, and looking forward to working with you as well. And congratulations, Chloe. Looking forward to all the great things that you're going to be doing, and it's fantastic what you shared with us tonight. And Mr. and Mrs. Brown, it's great to see y'all. And a quick little shout to our Parks and Rec and our Performing and Creative Arts for a really great Mardi Gras parade that we had. And our thanks, as always, to our great first responders that's always there whenever we need anything if something was to go wrong. But the way our community is, it's great that we don't have to worry about that, but that's all.
Counselor Whaley? No, ma'am. Counselor Stritchick? No, ma'am. Our next regularly scheduled council meeting will be held Tuesday, February the 18th, 2025 at 6 p.m. right here. Do we have a motion to adjourn? So moved. We have a motion. Is there a second?
Yes, second.
We have a second. All in favor say yay. Yay. Opposed, nays? We are adjourned.